Hi everyone, my name is Amy Whaley and I'm a Senior Gold Ambassador with Plexus Worldwide. I want to do a quick video for you just to share some of my tips and tricks of how I've worked Plexus into my busy life because I know that's a frustration of a lot of people and a worry for a lot of people is how they can work their Plexus business into a life that they feel like they don't have room to fit anything else into. And I want to start by saying that I love Plexus. I love the journey that I've been on so far. And Plexus is a business for me. In my mind, it's a business. It's a job for me. But it does get frustrating sometimes because it's not my only job. I'm a 7th grade school teacher. I have been for, this is my 19th year. So for a very long time, I've been a school teacher. I have 3 boys at home. I have a 13-year-old stepson. That's here at our house every other week. I have a 6-year-old son that's in kindergarten, his first year of school, and I have a 2-year-old son. And I also have a husband that's a police officer, and I don't know if you guys know a lot about the lives of police officers, but it's very busy. My husband works a lot of overtime. He works a lot of side jobs. Sometimes people just stop by the house because they know the cop lives here and they need him to do something. And my husband's such a good person that he always does that. So we live a very busy life. But I will say that with the right tips and tricks and the right mindset, you can still work Plexus into a life that's busy. And I'm not trying to say that my life is any busier than anyone else's. Like I said, I just wanted to give you a few tips and tricks of my own. And like I said earlier, I love Plexus. I love Plexus as my business. I love working the business, but I do get frustrated. I actually kind of had an epiphany the other day. I used to jog a lot. I love to jog. I love to run. I wasn't great at it, but I loved it, and it was something that I did daily. And I haven't done that in a very long time, probably 10 months. It's been since I've really, just been out for a jog. So the other day, it was really pretty the other day after school, and so I thought, I'm going to go for a jog. It's kind of like riding a bike. You never forget how to ride a bike. You never forget how to jog. So I started jogging, just went out on the sidewalk in front of the school where I teach. I started jogging and I thought, man, this really feels good. I forgot how good it feels to jog. I feel great. I'm still really good at this. And then in about 15 seconds, I was like, hey, man, this is really hard. This hurts. I haven't done this in a long time, and this is really painful. And, and I thought then and there, I thought, wow, this is a lot like your Plexus journey. You get real excited. You might even sign an ambassador or a customer, or you attend a sip and see. Something happens that gets you excited about your business. And then all of a sudden, something happens that's frustrating. Something happens that hurts your feelings. Something happens that takes you out of your comfort zone. A pain happens, just like that jogging. I was jogging, I was feeling good, and all of a sudden, wow, hey, this hurts. This hurts my lungs, this hurts my side, this hurts my knees. And I could have stopped, the other day when I was jogging. I could have stopped after about 15, 20, 30 seconds when it started hurting and when it started not feeling real well. I could have stopped. But I didn't, because I started that jog with a goal. I thought, I'm going to jog to this location. I'm going to jog to here. My husband was at the gym. He was working out. And I thought, I'm going to jog, to where he is. And that's where I'm going to go. And I could have stopped, but I didn't. I didn't stop. And I think that's the key is if you want to be successful in this business, when those pains happen and those frustrations happen and you hit a wall or you hit a tough spot, you don't stop. You know where you're going, you know where you want to go, and you don't stop, and you don't let those pains get you down. You keep your eyes on where you're going, and no matter what you have to do to get there, you get there. And that's what I did. I made it to the gym. I was breathing pretty heavily when I got there. I didn't stop. I didn't whine. I didn't complain. I just got there. It wasn't pleasant the whole way, but I got there. And your Plexus business is sort of like that sometimes. There's a lot of days when I don't know what to do, and I think, oh my gosh, I cannot reach out to another person. I don't know anybody else to reach out to. I don't know what's my next step, and I just kind of feel stuck. And I get those days. I'm sure everybody gets those days. I bet the diamonds hit those days, But when I hit that spot, I just do something. something, even if it's a little something. I may watch a video. I may just get on the team page and look for some of the posts on the team page. I may follow up with somebody that I'm comfortable following up with. I do something. And I was watching a video the other day, and I can't remember now. I should have looked it up, but I can't remember which diamond it was that had done the video. But she said, action cures everything. And I thought, that's so true, because that's how I feel on those days when I think, I don't know what to do next. I'm just stuck. I'm frustrated and I don't know what to do next. I always just do something. And that something turns into something else, which turns into something else. And a lot of times there's something good at the end of all those somethings, and it gets me back on track, and so that's one of my tips is when you get frustrated or you feel like you've hit a wall or you hit a tough spot and you don't really know where to turn next, do something, even if it's little, do something. My next tip is be consistent. I feel like the success that I've had so far this month, it's February the 17th. I've signed 4 level 1 ambassadors. I've signed 4 personals. I've gotten a preferred customer, and I've helped several of my downlines to sign a level 1 also. And I think the key to that was being consistent, and I always try to make sure that I'm consistent in all the things that I do. I'm consistent with my follow-up, and I think that's huge. One of the ambassadors that I signed this month, I've literally been following up with her for months, probably literally 6, 7 months that I've been following up with her. And she finally signed, this month and I knew she needed Plexus. I knew it would be great for her. And, finally it happened. And I think consistency was the key with that. And I think also being consistent with my Facebook posting, I think that's a big deal too. Several of the people that I've added the last couple of months, they've reached out to me initially because they've seen one of my Facebook posts. And when they reach out to me, of course, I answer their questions, but I don't let it stop there. I'm consistent with my Facebook posting so people know that I'm Plexus, that's what I stand for, and that they can reach out to me if I'm somebody they feel comfortable reaching out to about Plexus, that they can do that. But then once they reach out to me and I respond to them, I don't stop there. Then they go on my consistency list for follow-up. I consistently follow up with them. And, I think that's a real big key to finding success in this business is always to make sure that you're consistent. Be consistent with your Facebook posting. So like I said, people know and they relate you to Plexus. So that if you're somebody that people trust or somebody that people know they can listen to and that they feel comfortable with, when the time is right for them to consider Plexus or to try Plexus, you're going to be the person that they think about so that when they reach out to you, you'll be ready. And then, like I said, that may not be enough. They may need you to follow up with them and be consistent with them, for even a while. It may be months, until the time is right for them, because that's a big thing. Timing has to be right for everyone. It had to be right for me, when I decided to try Plexus. So timing's a big thing. So you don't want to not be consistent because you might miss that time, when they're ready. So you want to be ready too. And then another tip, and I hope this one doesn't come off harsh, because I don't mean it to at all, but don't depend on other people to help you reach your goals. Decide what your goals are first. I mean, that's important. What's your daily goals? I think even setting daily goals are important. What are your weekly goals, your monthly goals? What are your goals in a year or maybe even several years from now? But then once you know those goals and those goals become important to you and you're consistent getting to those goals, all the things I've said so far, don't depend on other people to get you there. Okay. You're the only person that you can ultimately control. Now, you can be a good leader if you have a team under you and teach them how to duplicate and do the things that you're doing. But when it comes to you and it comes to your dreams and your goals, you got to get yourself there. And you've got to be your own rock star. For so long, that's been one of my daily affirmations is I'm my own rock star. I'm going to do what I know it takes to get me where I want to be. Now, I don't mean I don't depend on other people. If you think I don't, ask my upline. They'll tell you. I constantly am using them for 3-way chats, for welcome calls. I did a welcome call today with with one of my upline. I do depend on other people to help me, but I don't depend on them for my ultimate success. These are my goals and these are my dreams that I've set for myself. And if I don't get there, it's my fault. It's me. I'm in charge of me, and what I do or what I don't do today or tomorrow or next week or next month or a year from now, it all falls back on me. So if I make excuses, if I'm too tired and I just don't want to do something, whatever it is, it's me. I'm in charge of that. And so what I do with my time and what I do with my life and what I do with my Plexus business, it all falls back on me. And again, I hope that doesn't sound harsh, because again, I don't mean it to, but I think sometimes we forget that, and I forget it too, because it's easy sometimes to say, well, I didn't do this because this happened, or this person did this, or this person said this. We're human, and it's easy to do that. And so sometimes you need reminded that that's okay, to depend on other people and to need other people. But you got to remember that you're the master of your own dreams and your own goals, and you've got to get yourself where you want to get yourself. And then finally, the last tip that I want to give you, the last hint I want to give you is, which I think this is probably the most important, is, and I kind of touched on this earlier, but find your why. Why do you want to do this business? Why do you want to be involved in this? What's your real reason? And I know a lot of my upline, they talk a lot about your why, and I'm so glad they did, because that was so important to me in the beginning, because in the beginning I was just kind of working the business and I don't think I really knew why. And then when a lot of people started talking about it, I thought, man, why do I want to do this? Why? What is the real reason? And then I started to envision my future. I started to envision, what it might be like in 5 years when I could do the things that I wanted to do for my family and for my kids. And I started to really envision where I might be a year from now, or 2 years from now, or 5 years from now. And that's what drives me. So when I hit those walls, or I feel those pains or those aches, or I get frustrated, I think back to those why. I think back to that why and those reasons, those real reasons, what really ultimately drives me in my soul. I think back to those, because that's what gets me past those pains. Just like when I'm jogging, and I feel those pains. I had somebody ask me one time, when I used to jog a lot, they said, how do you jog? I don't understand. What do you mean? You jog 2 miles today or 3 miles today. Well, what do you do when your side starts hurting? And I'm like, well, you just keep going, and that's what I do. And that's important, because sometimes it hurts and sometimes it's painful, when you're jogging, but also, metaphorically in life, it hurts and it's painful, but you find your why and you just keep going. There's a quote in the Success Guide. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it's become one of my favorites. It says, you find your why and your how will come. So a lot of times you're thinking, oh gosh, how am I going to do follow-up Friday? How am I going to follow up with, these 20 prospects, or how am I going to follow up with even these 5 today? How am I going to reach out to 3? How am I going to find the time to do that? It's a lot easier when you know your why, and you really know your why. It's a lot easier to find your how. And I think that's really important. So I hope this video helps. Maybe something I said will help somebody. Just remember, keep jogging. Keep jogging. Keep your eyes on your goal. Keep your eyes on your dream, whatever that might be. Your daily goals, your weekly goals, your yearly goals, your 5-year goal. Keep your eyes on your goals. Keep jogging. When it hurts, work through it. Don't quit. Don't give up. Remember your why, and remember that nobody can do it but you. Okay, y'all have a good night. Bye-bye.